everybody? My name is Tyler Treadway, aka Coach Treadway. Thank you for coming to the channel. So real quick, kind of what this is I'm taking some pieces that I've learned from coaching, personal experience, personal relationships, as well as like the literature I'm reading and the things that I'm studying in the coaching world, and then trying to create like some easily digestible ways that you can enhance your culture, enhance yourself, things that I'm applying to the team setting, things that I'm applying to myself, and just kind of how I'm navigating that. So if you find value in this video, please like, subscribe, share with your friends. Today's topic is how to use the 33% rule to build your culture. So the 33% rule is something that I picked up off of a John Wooden book. And if you don't know John Wooden, legendary coach for UCLA basketball, but he talks in a section about Sue Enquist and her 33% rule with UCLA softball and how she used that to build a championship culture. So essentially, to break it down, you have the top 33%, the middle 33%, and the bottom. So you have the top, the middle, and the bottom. It's super easy to categorize players, athletes, people into these buckets. So this, we're just gonna make it super simple. These are A+ students. They're A+ athletes. They come in, they do everything by the book. They are an example of the culture that you wanna set. They meet your standards. They come to practice on time. They're doing everything the right way. They're always positive influences on the team. They're usually your captains or your leaders of your team. You always know what you're gonna get with them. They're not fair weather at all. The middle are your C students. And to be quite honest, I was one of these people, throughout my whole life, whether it was in high school sports, high school academics, I was always that C student. Like when things were going my way, when I was getting playing time on the field, I was a great teammate. Everybody wanted to be around me. On the opposite side of that, when things weren't going my way, when it was always a coach, it was always something else. It was always some external factor other than myself as to why things were going bad. And instead of filtering up to the top, I would drop to the bottom, which is your F students. These are the guys that everything's always bad. It's always the coach's problem. It's never anything internal. So the goal with coaching is to obviously get everybody up to this A+ level, right? There's a couple ways that you can look at the 33% rule and apply it to not only yourself, but the team setting. The first thing I want to go over is how to apply it to the team setting. So in a team, you're always going to have some sort of mixture of all of these levels. This is the goal. The way that you get these two levels of kids out and up into this is by building personal relationships, right? So when speaking, for example, when I was this kid, it was always some sort of coaching conflict. It was a conflict within myself. Maybe it was a confidence thing, but no coach ever really took the time to learn what kind of made me tick and what kind of criticism or what kind of push I would respond to. You have to get to know your athletes on a personal level and find out what makes them tick. What is gonna make them go from a C or an F student to an A+ student? Everybody is driven by different things. You don't know the individual situation at home. You don't know what they're dealing with at school. You don't know any of these factors that kind of play into their life. So getting to know them on a personal level, get them to respect you, get them to understand that you're there to make them better. That's when you're gonna start to have these kids, they'll start to slowly transition from like an F to a C, right? You see it a lot of times. Kids might have all the talent in the world, they have a terrible attitude, and they're living in this bottom 33%, right? Personal relationships, get to know the kid, get to know where they're coming from, get to know what drives them, what they're passionate about. And that personal relationship that you build with them is gonna help get them up to here and up to here. And that's when you start winning. When everybody's performing at this level, that's when you win. So that's the team standpoint. The other one is the personal standpoint, okay? And so this, I'll talk about myself. I was recently able to give a speech to Warren High School, and I talked about the power of the 33% rule and how I apply it to my own life. And there's a couple situations where, again, I was this kind of C student, just kind of getting by because I never really had a drive or passion or purpose about anything. And so when I started to lean into that, like when things are going well, be a positive person. When things are kind of rocky, be a positive person. Always err on the side of doing the right thing, being a positive influence on people around you. You will start to see things in your own personal life shift when you become this person. Okay, when you live in this, I write it in my hand every day as a reminder not only of myself, but also when I'm dealing with people, teammates, coworkers, athletes, whatever it is, I'm always trying to set that example and live in this tier and help bring people up using relationships. Meet people where they're at. Coach Mike Deegan, one of my coaching mentors from Denison, he always talks about meeting people where they're at. And I think that's huge for this 33% rule, is finding out where people are in their life, figuring out how you can just provide value and be a positive influence in their life, because a lot of times you never know when they don't get that positive influence. You might be the only person in their life that's that person to them. So I think there's a lot of takeaways where you can use the 33% rule in the team setting as well as your personal life to kind of help you achieve those goals, help you raise the standard of not only yourself but your team. So I'll dive more into this in a later video, but this is just kind of a quick overview of how I use the 33% rule to enhance team culture as well as my personal culture. So if you like this, please give it a like, follow, subscribe, share with your friends. Thanks. Peace.